talk to us about the impact of raising the minimum wage. It sounds like a good idea, but there's more to it than that.
There's a lot more to it than that, Scarlet. You know, if raising the minimum wage was the only tool in the toolbox, I'd be all for it if it meant helping alleviate poverty in this country. But there are far more effective tools than simply raising the minimum wage. A tax credit to low-income workers would be far more effective in increasing their incomes while still being pro-business. You know, one of the least talked about and most impactful economic consequences that happened as a result of the budget battles in December at the beginning of the year was the expiration of the payroll tax extension. That had a big effect on low-income wage workers. We're not talking about that now. We're talking about the minimum wage. It's second best to giving a tax credit to these workers.
But do you suggest that it is still the right policy and they should be doing it, or do you side with John Boehner, who says it's a jobs killer?
Well, you know, economists are all over the place when it comes to whether raising the minimum wage will actually lead to job destruction or not. What I do know is that the economy is producing a lot of part-time jobs right now, a lot of low-income jobs. And if these jobs are the ones that businesses are offering, should we be doing anything that is seen as being anti-business at this point? It's much better to give a tax credit that would be seen as pro-business and still help low-income workers at the same time.
I sympathize with that, but what about pro-middle class? Look at the minimum wage right now. What is it, $7.25?
Right.
So that's an average salary of $15,000
Very
a year.
low,
It hasn't
right.
changed in years, yet we have seen inflation rising. The cost of living has risen. So why hasn't this changed already? Why are we even talking about it?
You know, 10 states actually did increase the minimum wage to keep up with...
But at a federal level.
Yeah, from the federal level to keep up with the cost of living, which we know doesn't nearly go far enough.
Sure.
But that was totally eaten away by the expiration of the payroll tax. Instead of, again, I go back to the previous, I'm all about efficiency. Instead of just raising the wages, why not give a tax credit? And that has the same effect for low-income workers. Same effect, more money in the pocket while still incentivizing businesses to keep creating jobs.
And speaking of businesses, there was a big brouhaha with Walmart and how they want to raise the minimum wage in Washington.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So Washington decided to raise the minimum wage to what they called a living wage. I think it was about $15, maybe $12. I'm not exactly sure. But Walmart decided to pull back. Walmart had planned to put 3 stores in the district. That would have brought economic activity, that would have brought jobs, and it would have brought a sense of viability to the district. Instead, they're going to move to the suburbs.
Yeah.
And so you can see the trade-offs here. If Walmart had a subsidy instead of an effective tax, maybe they would be more likely to go into urban areas and create these jobs.
But has it really been proven? I mean, Walmart is a clear example. Perhaps that was just political. Has it really been proven that a raise in the federal minimum wage is harmful to business? Because Alan Krueger, the White House economist himself, has done a lot of work on this, showing that not necessarily so.
I'm not saying it's harmful. I'm saying it's not efficient. I do not believe that raising the minimum wage is a job killer. That's the conservative mantra that's being espoused a lot of the time. It's not. Economic research has shown that at the margin it's probably not going to make a difference. But are we incentivizing companies to create jobs? There's a difference between not killing jobs and incentivizing companies to create more jobs.
So perhaps a symbolic move at best.
Exactly.
All right.